It started on a gray morning when the rain felt heavier than usual, almost as if the heavens were mourning too. A crowd had gathered outside St. John's Memorial Chapel. Black suits, folded flags, tight faces holding back tears. Inside lay the casket of Colonel Matthew Briggs, a decorated hero, beloved leader, and father figure to many. But at the edge of the crowd stood a man no one wanted there. His name was Ethan Cole. A single dad. A veteran. And to most people there, a ghost from the past. His jacket was worn, his boots muddy, and his face told the story of 1,000 sleepless nights. He stood with his little daughter, Lily, holding her small hand tightly, staring at the casket he wasn't allowed to approach. "Please, sir," one of the guards said quietly, blocking his way. "Family only." Ethan's voice was low but steady. "I am family, just not by blood." The guard looked away, uncomfortable. People whispered. Some shook their heads. "That's the guy who got Briggs discharged early. Didn't he cause the mission to fail? He shouldn't even be here." Every word cut into Ethan's heart like glass. Lily tugged on his sleeve. "Daddy, why don't they want us here?" He forced a smile. "Because they don't know the truth, sweetheart. But one day, they will." He had come to say goodbye to the man who had once saved his soul, even after war tried to destroy it years ago. In the dust and chaos of Afghanistan, Ethan and Colonel Briggs had led a team together. They were like brothers, bound not by blood, but by survival. Until the night everything went wrong. A mission had been compromised, and Ethan had been forced to make an impossible choice: save his team or complete the mission. He chose the lives of his men, disobeying orders in the process. The fallout was brutal. Ethan was court-martialed, dishonorably discharged, and branded a failure. Briggs tried to defend him, but politics won. Ethan lost everything: his uniform, his brothers, his pride, but what the world never knew was that Briggs had covered for him. Behind closed doors, the colonel had taken responsibility for a classified decision, saving Ethan from prison. It ruined Briggs's career, but it saved Ethan's life. Now, years later, Ethan had returned to pay his debt. Inside the chapel, the ceremony began. The choir sang softly as the folded American flag rested gently over the coffin. Soldiers saluted. Old comrades bowed their heads. Ethan stood at the doorway, his hand trembling as he removed his cap. A woman approached him. It was Rachel Briggs, the colonel's daughter. Her eyes were cold, her grief sharp as ice. "You shouldn't have come, Ethan," she said through clenched teeth. "You have no right to be here." He nodded slowly. "You're right. But I had to. He saved me once, and I never got to thank him." Rachel looked away. "He believed in you, even after everything. But my father's gone now. Please, just go." Ethan's throat tightened. He started to turn away when a voice boomed from the back of the chapel, deep, commanding, unmistakable. "Let him through." The crowd turned. Standing at the aisle was General Marcus Harlan, a 4-star legend known across the armed forces. His chest bore enough medals to fill a wall, but his eyes held something far greater: respect. People whispered as he walked forward, his cane tapping against the marble floor. He stopped right beside Ethan. "This man," the general said, his voice echoing through the silence, "saved my life." Gasps rippled across the room. Rachel froze. Even the guards stepped aside. General Harlan turned toward the casket. "Colonel Briggs and I led a covert mission in Kandahar in 2012. Our team was ambushed. We were outnumbered 10-1. I was hit. Bleeding out. We called for evac, but the LZ was too hot. The man who carried me out through gunfire, who refused to leave me behind, was Ethan Cole." The crowd was silent. "He disobeyed orders to save a life, my life," Harlan continued, his voice cracking slightly. "He was punished for it. But it was the bravest act I've ever witnessed. And Matthew Briggs knew it. Briggs took the fall because he knew Ethan didn't deserve the shame. So if anyone here has the right to say goodbye, it's him." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes. He took a shaky step forward, Lily still clutching his hand. Rachel looked at him, really looked at him, for the first time. Her anger faded, replaced by understanding. She nodded silently. Ethan approached the casket, his knees weak. He laid a small medal on the flag a silver star Briggs had once given him after a mission gone right. His voice trembled. "I never forgot what you told me, sir. You said being a soldier isn't about medals, it's about heart. You taught me how to fight for what's right, even when the world turns its back. I'll keep fighting, for Lily, for your memory, and for every man you ever led." He placed his hand on the wood, whispered, "Rest easy, sir," and stepped back. The choir began to sing Amazing Grace. General Harlan saluted the coffin, and one by one, others followed. Even those who'd once whispered now stood at attention. The room was filled with respect, not for rank, but for sacrifice. Later, outside the chapel, Rachel approached Ethan again. Her eyes were red, but her tone was softer. "I didn't know," she said quietly. "Dad never told me." "He wouldn't," Ethan said, smiling faintly. "He wanted you to remember him as a hero, not a man who broke rules for the right reasons." She nodded. "Thank you for coming. He'd be proud you did." Ethan looked down at Lily, who was watching butterflies dance around the flowers. "He already is." As the sun broke through the clouds, the rain finally stopped. Ethan took his daughter's hand and walked away, not burdened by guilt anymore, but by gratitude. He had finally said goodbye, and in doing so, found peace, because sometimes, the truest heroes aren't the ones who wear medals, but the ones who carry the weight of silence, loyalty, and love.